So during last night's DNC, for most of the proceedings, Donald Trump was stunned into silence. No posts from him, no emails from him. And then at the end, he was just like posting frantically. But for a long period of time, you could tell that he was probably sitting there just seething as the crowd was chanting, USA, USA. And Democrats were taking the offense and pushing back and calling him out in no uncertain terms. So then what Donald Trump does, though, is he posts that he goes, Vice President Kamala Harris has officially canceled a debate on September 4th. So Donald Trump made up in his own demented mind that he was going to have a debate that was not scheduled on Fox, and he was going to do it in Pennsylvania, and he didn't tell anybody about it, but he just said, we're doing this debate, and no one agreed to it. And Vice President Kamala Harris said, we have a debate. It's scheduled for September 10th on ABC with George Stephanopoulos. Then we could have some other debates, and then there can be a VP debate, but we're going to go by a schedule. And Vice President Kamala Harris previously called Donald Trump out and mocked him for being too scared and too cowardly to debate her. Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign even put out a statement last week. Enough is enough. The debate over the debate is over. Like, shut up, Donald. Either show up to the debate on September 10th or just be quiet. And Donald Trump, of course, wants to, his whole brand is whining. So here's what Donald Trump posted last night. This was at 8:39 p.m. So this is what he wrote. He wrote, Comrade Kamala Harris has just informed us that she will not, we just be clear for a second here. At that period of time, President Biden was speaking. So Vice President Kamala Harris didn't inform him of anything, and that was never even a date. Vice President Kamala Harris never even thought about that being a date. Donald Trump goes, Comrade Kamala Harris has just informed us that she will not do the Fox News debate on September 4th. I am not surprised by this development because I feel that she knows it is very difficult at best for her to defend her record-setting, flip-flopping, and absolutely everything she once believed in, including her statements that there will be no fracking in Pennsylvania, puts it in all caps, and her horrible performance on the border. Our borders are where millions of criminals and people from mental institutions and terrorists have been allowed to pour into our country, totally unchecked and unvetted. It's called, and she loves it, an open border exclamation point. Rather than debate on September 4th, I have agreed to do a teletown hall anchored by Sean Hannity for Fox. It will take place in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Details to follow. Oh, what a shocker that your propaganda network and someone who's even said in legal filings that he's not actually a news reporter, but he views himself as an entertainer. Sean Hannity's giving you a propaganda forum so you can say, oh, Vice President Kamala Harris turned down the debate, so now I got to be here doing a town hall. Look, you do a town hall with Hannity like every other week. Fox has basically been giving you free advertisement now for the last 3 years on Hannity, on Laura Ingraham. I've been covering all of those deranged appearances where you talk about how you want to pull America out of NATO, and you talk about Hannibal Lecter, and you say you want to be a dictator on day one. I remember all of those town halls they do. You want me to show you the one where you say you'd be a dictator on day one with Hannity? Here, I'll show you the last town hall you did with Hannity recently. Here, play this clip.
We love this guy. He says, you're not going to be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day one.
I mean, it's just so pathetic, the whining over and over and over again. And clearly one of the reasons that he was stunned into silence is not just the speakers at the DNC, who were incredible. I did a whole recap video of them. But also, did you see some of the production, some of the videos that were there? Like, take a look at this one right here, which was like a Law and Order style video. The prosecutor versus the felon. Look, this one was executed with perfection. So, yeah, I get why Donald Trump would be absolutely stunned into silence. Here, play this clip.
In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. This is the story of Donald Trump. His entire life, Trump has believed he's above the law, that no one would ever dare hold him accountable. He lies, He rips off workers. He sexually abuses women.
And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
He cheats in business. He cheated on his wife with a porn star and paid her off so the American people wouldn't find out during an election. But in the criminal justice system, ordinary Americans have had the courage to find him accountable, time and time again.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty. Donald Trump, guilty on all 34 felony counts.
For the first time in history, we have a convicted felon running for president. And to take on this case, we need a president who has spent her life prosecuting perpetrators like Donald Trump. He tried overturning Georgia's free and fair election.
I just want to find 11,780 votes.
He's tried to escape any responsibility for instigating the January 6th attack on our Capitol.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you.
And if elected, Trump has promised to overturn laws that would keep him accountable and exact retribution on anyone he considers an enemy, even warning of a bloodbath if he doesn't get his way. So we, the people, have a chance to render our own verdict on Donald Trump. We are the jury he most fears. When we vote this November, we vote for justice, accountability, and the rule of law that keeps America free.
And also, Donald Trump knows that his former supporters are realizing what a con man he is. That's the thing. I saw somebody write, the thing about Donald Trump is that his shtick wears thin. Sure, the first season of The Apprentice did well, but the second, third, fourth season, the ratings started declining once people just get bored and tired of his shtick. But this thing done writ large in our country, people are beyond sick and tired of the division, the hate, the stupid names that he called. Oh, Comrade Kamala, Kamabla, Kamala, Kamabla. And then his communications director does that in a Venn diagram, or like posting photos or ads like Fool-Aid, Kamala Berry, now with DI. It's just, George Conway said it best when I interviewed him recently. George Conway goes, how Donald Trump behaves is exactly how we would tell our children not to behave. He's an exact example of what we don't want our children to be. So why would we want to give someone like that the nuclear codes? Here, by the way, this is the video, great production here, former Trump supporter saying how he left MAGA. Here, play this clip.
My name is Rich Logis. I live in Florida, and until 2 years ago, I was a full-fledged member of MAGA. I believed Trump. I was a MAGA pundit. I had my own podcast. I was in a state of panic, terrified that Democrats were destroying our country. When the pandemic hit, we needed leadership, but we were given almost nothing. It was a major betrayal to the country. So I finally stepped outside the MAGA echo chamber. I stopped listening to what Trump said and looked around with my own eyes. And I realized he had been lying about pretty much everything. Lying is Trump's toxic superpower. He's ripped apart families, communities, our whole country. So this is my message to all the Republicans and independents who are watching. People like me who voted for and believed in Trump. I made a grave mistake, but it's never too late to change your mind. You don't need to agree with everything you hear tonight to do what is right. We need to be able to trust our leaders. That's why I'm all in for Kamala Harris.
Then you just think about the difference between these conventions here. You have this was townhall.com is like a right-wing blog or website, and they're trying to mock the DNC here, and they go, choose your fighter, because Hulk Hogan was one of the keynote speakers at the Republican National Convention, and Sean Fain, the union leader for the United Auto Workers, was the speaker at the Democratic National Convention. So Town Hall's like, wouldn't you rather have idiocracy over a well-respected union leader? Like what? Where do you? It goes to just show you again who these MAGA people are. Let me finally just show you this clip right here. This was my interview with Congressmember Eric Swalwell. And here's where Congressman Swalwell, he sums it up perfectly. Here, play this clip.
if I called you and I was like, hey, Ben, buddy, I've known you for 20 years, and I know you have a growing company, and I was hoping that you would hire a friend of mine in need, you would be like, yeah, sure. What is your friend? What are his qualifications? And I said, well, Ben, he's a convicted felon, but it's only 34 felonies, and he's a rapist. But I think you may be able to help him out. He's only been bankrupt 6 times. And Ben, I should tell you, because it'll probably come out, the last office from which he was fired, he sent his friends to violently storm it. If I told that to like any friend, as people always call and say, hey, can you consider hiring somebody? They would look at you and say, like, are you crazy? Like, no one's hiring this guy. So like, why are we going to hire him? And so again, it's just so basic. And I think we're best when we're basic in our message.
So then I go to you. All right, Eric, Congress member, look, we're friends. I'll take the phone call. Thanks, Ben. So I take the phone call, and then he goes, have you seen Kamala? She's on the cover of Time magazine. I go, hang up. I mean, look, the speech earlier in the day, he's whining that Vice President Kamala Harris is on the cover of Time magazine. Here, play this clip, Jeremy.
And then they decided to get politically correct. We have to put her in. They put her in, and now they're putting her on the covers of Time magazine with an artist sketch. They don't use a picture. They don't use a picture. They use an artist sketch. I want to use that artist. I want to find that artist. I like him very much.
So play it out with me, Congressman. So he does that, and then I hang up, and then I go, Congressman, this guy. You go, Ben, just give him. You say, Ben, give him one more call. I say, Eric, I'll give him one more call, and then this is what he says to me. Here, play this clip.
And actually, she looked very much like our great First Lady, Melania. She didn't look like Camilla. That's right. But of course, she's a beautiful woman, so we'll leave it at that, right?
Yeah, not getting hired is how this would go down on any phone call like that in America.
And it's so true. I mean, just think about what Donald Trump posted yesterday as well in the morning, right? Donald Trump posted a video that had a song that was like the Alanis Morissette song, and it had different lyrics. And the song said that Vice President Kamala Harris spent, quote, her entire damn life down on her knees. That's what the video says that Donald Trump posted. Now, in any workplace, that would be sexual harassment. You would get fired immediately, and you'd probably be criminally charged for that behavior as well. Not just civilly sued for that behavior for sexual harassment. But this is who Donald Trump is. He's a predator. He's a sexual predator. He's a sexual assaulter. He's been found liable for it. He's on videotape bragging about sexually assaulting women. That's who he is. So him posting these videos, again, I don't want to lose sight of it. We have to call it out all of the time. But I guess for the corporate media, and I guess for the Republican Party that's now turned full MAGA, they're good with that. But we, the people, should never be good with that or okay with that. Or we should always, it's despicable behavior. And I'm always going to call it out here on the MeidasTouch Network. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million together and have a good day.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.